We're here with head coach Sean Nahas and the Courage's Sunday game against the Kansas City Courage. Sean, it's been a while since the team's been home in the regular season. How excited are you guys to be getting back out in front of Lincoln Soccer Park?
Look at our record. um, yeah, it's always great to play home, but at the end of the day, it's a critical part of our season, and um, you know, coming off a tough result the other day, it's obviously you want to have these rebound games at home rather than back on the road. So, yeah, I know the group's excited, and hopefully we can put on a good performance.
Played KC twice already this season, so pretty familiar with them. Obviously, a few roster changes to go aside since then. What are you looking for from this game in terms of changing things from last game against them?
Scoring goals. um, you know, that's been our weakness this year, to be quite honest, and it's no secret. Um, so putting ourselves in good chances. We expect to have a decent amount of the ball as we normally do, but if we're not threatening and behind, and we'll probably have to look at making some changes and shuffle up the roster a little bit, and um, with what we have available to us as well. So, yeah, we just want to be more threatening and more decisive in the final third, and I think that's been our Achilles heel. I mean, even against Seattle, we got behind and we don't shoot the ball. There's something that's just not clicking, a hesitation. But we seem to be okay at home when we play. So, yeah, just keep creating chances, stay true to ourselves, and I toyed with the idea of flipping things around a little bit, and that would be against all of our principles and what we believe in. And I think, we'll just see how the game takes shape.
How difficult is it balancing like when to make those changes versus like writing out something like this as a coach? How do you go about doing something like that?
Writing out what?
Just like what is currently happening versus making any kind of changes like you were hinting at.
I mean, if you're making changes, it's to sort of liven up the group a little bit. Put a fresh face in somewhere different, and players have gotten plenty of time this year, plenty of opportunity. And if you're not producing, then and by producing, it's multiple layered. I'm not going to get into it here, but you also have to look at it and say sometimes from a mental standpoint, maybe someone just needs a mental break and balance out their minutes a little bit differently. But 2:00 game, not ideal for either team. So the game could peter in and out, but when you have the ball, that could be helpful. But writing out the decisions and when to make them, it's a gut thing. Again, you can only make so many changes with what we have available to us. We haven't had a full roster available at all, and I don't think we will the rest of the season. And we're missing some critical pieces, and there's no secret to that. But everyone has stepped up to the point right thus far, and we're not in a bad spot. Let's be honest. But we have such high standards that when we feel we should be getting results and we don't, the way we lose it, I would have been happy with a point in Seattle, the way we played in that second half. But I think overall, you just have to ride it out. You have to trust your players a little bit. You have to stay true to who we are and not show any signs of concern, I guess, in many ways, by flipping things around to the point where now they become a little bit more anxious about what we're doing. So, yeah, it's just riding it out, really.
Getting everyone back from the Olympics, I'm sure it takes time to kind of get everything meshed together. What have you seen so far with that, and do you hope the team kind of takes that next step in terms of coming back together after the break on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, we're not getting everyone back. We don't have Carol back, but this is the thing about the Summer Cup is that some players played really well in it, and sometimes you have to ride that out. Just because they come back doesn't mean you automatically throw them in as a starter. That's the reality of the business that we're in, and players took advantage of the moments they got. I think it's just from a cultural standpoint, it's great to have everyone back. But we have the types of players where they've moved on from the Olympics, and the way we play, it's easy to put people back into their place. It's a seamless process. But we also have to, some of the players that performed in certain spots did well, and they haven't done anything to not do well and not get another chance.
With the Summer Cup, when you look back on it, what were you the happiest about coming
I mean, I thought we got into a good rhythm. I thought we played some really good football. Obviously, advancing to the semis is always great. Players got some time, but it's different than regular season. So we carried the wave last year, the Challenge Cup, into the rest of the season. I felt like we did that in Seattle for the first 50 minutes, 65 minutes. Thought we were fantastic. Should have been up 1-0. But we never continued that wave. So from what we saw a lot of growth, but it's got to translate inside the stadium. So, but yeah, that's really it. I mean, hopefully we can get back into it. I'll be honest, we've been hard on the players this week, but we're allowed to do that every so often. Yeah, that was the big thing, just the rhythm of how we were playing. I thought we really got into a great system, and we'll be all right. We'll be all right.
You mentioned there's some preparations for KC and everything on Sunday, but is there a specific focus or goal besides scoring goals that you really want to make sure the team has at the front of the line?
I mean, transition moments are important. Our structure, our shape. I felt like our structure against Seattle was a little bit off. We were a little bit stretched, a little bit too disconnected in the distances that we wanted in certain spots. Understandably why, but still impacted us. I would like to see a little bit more bite. I thought we got physically manhandled in the second half by Seattle, just the way they pressed us, and we didn't have the ability to go behind for many reasons. But yeah, I just want to see a group that trusts themselves and is confident in who they are. And these types of results can make you question things sometimes, including us as staff. But yeah, I just want to see a group that's going to get on the ball, trust it, knock it around, be patient, not be in a rush, because rushing usually leads to the transition moments, which we want to avoid. And recognize if it's not on, it's okay to reset the game, especially in the time of the day that it's going to be at. We can't be going back and forth. We personally, physically won't survive. Our team won't survive that because it's a lot. It's a lot.
What about KC and what they've done this year kind of brought about their success? Do you feel like?
Their roster build. I mean, if you look at the roster they have, it's a completely different team. Last year they had Deb, now they have Deb. Chewinga, obviously B is out. They bring in Jack. I don't know. I can't speak too much about it. I'll get myself in trouble. But they've done an unbelievable job. The top 4 teams have done an unbelievable job of building their roster. If you look at the team, the way they were set up last year, I mean, Gotham wins it and they bring in 2 World Cup champions. They bring in internationals. Orlando finishes just out of the spot, and they knew what they were missing. They go get Barbara Banda. I mean, I don't know. These are the types of things we have to start looking at. Our difference maker is not eligible. Every team has them, but we also have others on the team too that can step up, and we play more of a team style. And if we're all in alignment with that, then we'll be okay. We just can't have any disconnects. And a lot of people say, "Oh, they got to go more direct." Okay, well, I don't have, Olympian sprinters on the front line. We don't have that. It's not how we're built. So we can try it, but we're not going to be able to physically do it. So we've stayed true to who we are, but the difference makers in those certain moments, but you just look at how they built their roster. They've brought in, I don't know, they're just different. They're built different, But I will say we've also competed really well against them. But when we don't take our chances and they take their couple, that's the difference. We have to take our chances. We may get 3. They may get 20. We have to score 1, and then it gets us going. But when we go down a goal, the question becomes who's scoring. And that's always been that dynamic, I think, been in our head for the year.
And I don't want to continue to play a broken record type thing, but the home versus road differential here, now that you're coming back, you said happy to be back, happy to, with how things have gone. What have, at this point of the season now,
If we knew we would, well, we did a lot of data breakdown on the physical side, and the numbers are very, very, very different. The amount of running we do on the road, the amount of closing Z4 through Z6 endurance areas and sprintings, and it's not even close on the road. But that's an individual choice. Not that they can't do it; they're choosing not to do it. And I was very hard on the players about that this week. We've had 3 conversations about it. You can't tell. We can do it at home. If whatever they're doing on the road, we don't babysit them. If we babysit them, I'd get in trouble for many reasons. So we trust them, but they have to go out and perform. We did it for 45 to 60 minutes against Seattle, and then we died out, or we chose not to do it in a cool conditions. But that's been the biggest thing, is our overall performance off the ball. Are we doing a good enough job? Yeah, we want the ball. We have the ball a lot, but there's moments where we don't, and we have to perform just as high because we should want it back that much more because of how good we are on the ball. But that's individual choices. I can't make them run. I can't have them sprint. They either got to do it for their team and their teammates, or we're going to continue to struggle. We're in the playoffs right now because of our home stadium. And if you look at the minus Orlando and Houston, we were in every game on the road. Gotham, Seattle, Utah, that's going to kick us down the road, I can promise you. Angel City, all 1-goal losses. That's effort. That's just effort to me.